has done. It really takes a friend to say, this product changed my life. Let's do it this way. If you have lost any weight on our Reveal product, stand up. Any weight at all, just stand up so we can see if anyone's lost any weight. Now this is a good word picture for you that are guests. Again, if you've lost any weight, stand up, right? So give them a hand, all right? Now wait, stand up. Let's just see how much pound. By the way, think about this as they're standing. When was the last time you went into work and say, everybody that's lost weight on something, stand up? Okay, because people yawn and say, no big deal. If you lost 10 pounds or less, sit down. Okay, now that was a great accomplishment, right? That's not easy, okay? How about 20 pounds or less? Okay, so the rest of the people standing, holler out real quick. They've over 30 pounds. Start over here, Darren.
50 pounds.
50 pounds. Congratulations. 63 pounds. Congratulations. How many? 22? Yep. 22 pounds, all right? 53. 25. 24, 26, 77, Sean. Sean isn't even the same person. It's a walking billboard. So about between 500 and 1,000 pounds have just been lost in this room, right here, okay? Probably even more than that if you add up all the 10 people, that all the people stood down were 10 pounds and less. Just telling you, most of the things I've ever seen, they don't work. Who's kept it off? Anybody kept it off for a while? Look at. How long you keep it off, Sean? 18 months. A year. Over a year. Okay? Well, that's pretty interesting. If anyone knows anything about weight loss. Now, I've been on a diet for 26 years since I've been married. Right? I've been on the cabbage diet. I hate cabbage now. Right? I've been on the ones with the points, and I never went in. I mean, guys, we never go. So what's really interesting about this diet, all the guys that are losing weight, you can take 2 shakes a day, a couple food bars. Are those new food bars? We got them up here? No. Okay, you're missing it. They're like I said, at the very first meeting, I forgot now, I was in London. I've been not saying it's in London, but I said, like my friend Al says, we test all these products out with the Americans. They don't grow a 3rd arm or something, then we let you have it. Okay, so it's coming, right? But it's all, I mean, the new guy that we got right now, Mark McDonald, okay, he's going to help us change people's perception. That's really, our only competition out there is people's perception. That can change, understand what we got our hands on. Okay, your grandfather, somebody knocked at his door and said, hey, give me $100. I'm going to come here every month. You're going to pay me $100 a month. You're going to be on cable TV. He slammed the door and said, I don't know why, some guy just came here, Harriet, and said, Harriet, all right, okay? And said, we're going to pay for TV. We'd be nuts when we got ABC, NBC, CBS. Okay? Well, guess what? Now you're nuts not to have cable TV. Are you with me? People's perception, not that hard. It took the guy who's our Chief Marketing Officer, he came up with the concept of paying your bills online. It took 15 years for people to get it, but now it's a common way to pay your bills. Mark my words, what the economists are saying is, cottage-based businesses are the way of the future. If you haven't read Briggs' new book, he's the top guy in the industry, top income earner in all the, not just MonaVie, okay? He's telling you in this book that there's 1 billion people that are out of work. Doesn't matter how successful companies get in the next few years, they're never going to be able to have enough jobs for those folks that are out of work because people turn 18 faster than they could possibly keep up with the job, creating jobs. So people are going to have to start a cottage-based business. This is going to be the way of the future. Remember I said about your kids? Your kids are not going to sit in rush hour traffic. They're watching you. And they're saying, these guys are crazy. They're nuts. I'm going to work with my laptop or my cell phone right from my house, and I'm going to get paid. If we're in Switzerland, log on, make a couple emails. Hey, look, we're in Switzerland on a free trip. Everybody gets more fired up because they want to go on the free trip. All I'm saying is he's going to work or she's going to work from their house or from wherever they're at instead of home to work, spending most of their time on the road, sitting in rush hour traffic or in a cubicle. They're watching us. Cottage-based business are happening. So it's all around us. Now this guy's one of the top guys in the industry telling us. So he's a business person. We got an economist and a businessman with Robert Kiyosaki. So what are you going to do when you break out of here? First thing you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to understand that we make a list of people, right? You don't have to, they're already in your cell phone. You're just going to have to do what I did with my brother-in-law. Remember I said I was pouring the juice at Thanksgiving, and he said to me, because all I did when I poured the juice was, I said to Gina's relatives. She actually said, Steve, you're going to show these guys Steve's going to show y'all what we're doing. I'm like, these are your relatives. Why don't you show them? No, Steve's going to show. So I poured the juice, and if anyone knows me, I'm not very good at, my wife can go to a grocery store and meet 10 people. I'm a coach, so I can tell you what I'm doing and what I did, right? But Jim knows me. I'm not very good at, go put me in the lobby out there and say, go meet 10 people. All right? Hide behind the pillar with a bottle of MonaVie and MonaVie. Right? It's not me. I mean, the last guy that went Black Diamond in my group, I thought about talking to the guy who sponsored him for an hour. Thought about it. Well, my son was he was his batting coach. Should I talk to him? Shouldn't I? Should I? I mean, there were nights I didn't talk to anyone. I was just sweating. I was like worn out thinking about it. And I'm one of the top guys. That should give you hope. Okay? But I will tell you this much. If you got a dream big enough, you'll start working at it, even if you got to work your way through it, okay? You don't have to be great. Actually, it's a bonus for you because they actually feel sorry for you and they sign up with you, right? But my brother-in-law, I poured the juice. Now, this guy was already a multi-millionaire, been semi-retired for 15 years, 13,000 square foot house, hundreds of acres on his farm. And I'm up there in Georgia, poured the juice. Nobody said nothing that night at the Thanksgiving. I was, so the next day, though, we played baseball out at his farm, and then we were sitting around, and everybody else left, and he cornered me, and he said, hey, about that juice you were talking about yesterday, how in the world is that Charlie guy making $4,000 a week? How many bottles does he have to sell? The reason why I'm bringing up this story is because that was his perception of what we do. Are you with me? Everyone in your cell phone has a perception of what we're doing, and you're going to have to, if you believe in them and you like them to be in business with you, or if you bump into somebody like the batting coach, you're going to have to figure out a way for them to get the right perception and understand what we do. So I was smart enough to say, and I only been to one of these, so you can get it from tonight. Because, I mean, we're in the industry called direct selling. So it would make sense that everybody thinks we're going around selling weight loss and bottles. Does that make sense? I mean, because it's called direct. That's not what we have. We have to have some customers. We got a couple customers, but most of the people right here in this room all get it delivered to their house. So all I did was say to my brother-in-law, I said, I don't think he sells the bottles because you couldn't sell enough bottles to make $4,000 a week. What he said he did at my house the other night, a couple nights ago, was you drink with a friend, and if they like the product and they have some aches and pains that they want to feel better, they want to look better, have their wife look younger, lose a little belly fat, and make some money. Then they take the product, get it delivered to their house. Then you say, do you have another friend that would like to look younger, feel better, have any aches and pains they have to go in, elbow pain, back pain, lose a little belly fat, have their wife look younger, and make some extra money? Yeah, my friend Bob, we go over to his house, drink with him. And he gets it delivered to his house. I said, I don't think you sell anything, I think you just drink. And have it delivered to the people's house. He said, I could do that. He's made $1 million with me and MonaVie. Okay? So, now my other brother-in-law, he got signed up because my millionaire brother-in-law signed up. He was broke. Now, he's made $1 million with me. He's in the book. Now, I'm going to tell you his story. This because you need to figure out, I can't be the only guy that can change people's perception. Why do you need the subscription? So that you can have personal growth, like Kiyosaki says, and you start listening to these CDs over and over again. Stop listening to the radio, stop listening to anything but the people that are moving and shaking so that we can get this thing done. Then you can go back to, I turned the TV off for 125 days. Then I turned it back on, I was making $10,000 a week, I just want to see if I missed anything. Didn't miss a thing, it was the exact same news as when I turned it off. Just different faces. Instead of Lindsay going to rehab back then, it was Brittany going to rehab, right? So you're not going to miss nothing. Believe me, your neighbor will tell you if something's going on. Okay? So, don't get hung up on that. It's like a lot of people have always in their lifetime, this is one thing that never happened to me, was they always think they're missing out on something. Okay? I mean, my wife and I, she's been flying with pilots and flight attendants for 24 years, and I've been flying with my boss. We got to fly around for almost 20 days around Europe, okay, together. That's what we wanted, that's what we dreamt. So don't think, well, these guys are working. No, we're having a ball, okay? People are always thinking they're missing out. Like, oh, Steve, you're here, so you're missing out on something. No, I'm not missing out on nothing. I'm having some friends, and we're gonna talk about this night, because the next time I come back, we're gonna break that wall down. Because the last hotel, we can never go back to the last hotel. If you'd have seen us at the last hotel, am I right? Judy, the last hotel room, I mean, it was like so cramped. I mean, I couldn't see anybody in the back. So now we got a little bit of room to breathe here, but by the time I come back, we're breaking through the wall. All right, it's gonna happen. It's a whole new day. Everyone's gonna take responsibility of what they gotta do, make a list. Now you know who you're looking for. If you've talked to anyone that has said no, they don't want to do it, you gotta go back to them. If you've talked to them by just pouring the juice, they really, to tell you the truth, for the last 2 years, MonaVie, just because the way everybody was pitching it, was actually looking for retail customers. I talked about it in St. Louis a bit. Because when you're looking for 200 PV or 100 PV, that's not a business. Remember what I said about my wetsuits? See, I had experience from my last business experience that I had wetsuits. You know, Dale understands ordering cell phones. I mean, to tell him to order a $1,750 order, that's nothing, okay? So start thinking like business. I'm just telling, just to help you out. So now you're pitching it to people that are saying, okay, so instead of me buying a Tim Hortons, I don't even know if anyone knows a local Tim Hortons guy. I know Subway guys, they're in my group. One of my friends owns 3 Subways and he's in my group. And he says that he makes $50,000 a Subway. You got to have 3 of them because then you can have the same accountant and the manager run them all. But it's a lot of pressure, a lot of work, okay? He owns 3 of them, so don't do a Subway. He's building MonaVie with me, okay? Another guy in my group owns 4 FedEx trucks, all right? So he's got to spend $100,000 on a truck and route, so about 40 grand for the route. Everything, it comes out to be at $100,000 per truck. So he's about $500,000 in debt. Says he makes a lot of money, but he said, I want to go on free trips. I want to travel. I want to goof around instead of tied down. That's what the doctors and the attorneys are saying. Why? I have to admit, I learned something in my ski boat for 25 years. This is the freebie for y'all. Then you're going to know what everyone, John, might be the first time you heard me say this, okay? This is for you. In my boat for 25 years, remember I said God gave me common sense? I'm always like thinking, and he's always giving me little bits of wisdom, right? Sitting in my boat for 25 years as a pro skier. Now the people that came to my water ski school, I specialize in barefoot skiing, were kids that wanted to be on the US team or around the world, but half the people were adults that wanted to be the hot dog on their lake. They were the only ones that could afford to come would be some very successful businessmen. One guy owned his own crane company, dentists, doctors, attorneys. They'd sit in my boat and here's what they'd say for 25 years. Man, you got it made. What do you mean? You get to ski every single day. Like, what do you mean? You're an attorney. He said, you don't understand. I thought I wanted to be an attorney, but I would much rather be skiing every single day. They were all miserable. Now they appreciated that they had a job. So when I got in MonaVie, I'm like, everybody's miserable. All right? Well, I knew what they meant because I had to work for 8 years in a job. I thought I was in prison myself. All I'm getting at is that I'm telling you, they were in my boat, they're all the same. Some will admit it right away, some won't. But if you can start learning by using the subscriptions and listening to the CDs. I mean, some of the last ones that came out, Corbin and Holly Roush, Bucket List. The guy, if you know someone that has a good job, say you might want to listen to this CD because this guy was making $600,000 a year. He thought he had a great job. His boss, he thought was his best friend, called him in his office and said, you know what, you're making too much money. We're going to cut your pay by 2/3. All right, you said that, right? But he's got a CD called The Bucket List. Wouldn't you rather be able to start goofing around right now instead of waiting until you find out that you don't have the money when you think you're going to have the money? I'd rather start doing it right now. He's talking about, because of MonaVie, he never thought in his wildest dreams he'd be doing this, and he's checking off his bucket list because of the MonaVie opportunity. It's just a vehicle to get you where you want to go. We got Mike Hernandez. I don't know if you've seen his. You heard his CD. All right? If I was you, I would do what I did. I've got my wife and myself on the subscription, so that when I show up at these meetings, I got the juice, I got the subscriptions. I'm prepared to sponsor, help the people get people in the business. So, in fact, I even brought extra CDs here. Are these mine? Yeah. Okay, these are mine. Who brought a guest? Anybody bring a guest tonight? All right. Okay. Hey, does somebody mind passing these out? Raise your hand if you brought a guest. Okay. And we're going to get you a free CD here. All right. And all you do is you hand these out to people, if you, right? And who's already signed up for the convention tonight? Whoever signed up tonight, raise your hand. We'll go as much as we can. All right, then we'll start giving away owls. All right, hey, we're just having fun. We want you to win. Why do you think we came here? All right. So, what are you going to do? First of all, don't get too complicated. Get yourself your cell phone on and make a list. Okay. Then you're going to hand these CDs out. That's what you're going to do. Now don't just hand them out to just anyone. What Randy's trying to say is very interesting. He's telling you that people have been asking him, if anyone's listening to the webinars that he's doing, he's been saying that when some of the questions he's got, we got a couple more hands up. Ralph, right? There you go. All right, anyways, what he's saying is that people are just handing them out, and then they say, well, like they go to the mall and just hand out CDs. You've got to start looking for people that, remember what I said, that got a kick in their step, they want something more. Ask them, are you looking for something? I mean, when you get my business card, it's got my bus on there. Say, hey, can you believe this guy got, now they didn't give this to me, I used it with my MonaVie money, but this is my 3rd bus. Now I'm not trying to brag, I'm just saying that if you want to buy a $2 million house, you can buy I just got a $2 million bus and trailer and car right here. It's all $2 million bucks. So you can say, hey, look at this guy here with this MonaVie opportunity, using it as a vehicle, was able to get this bus. It's $2 million bucks worth of vehicle going down the road, and he hasn't had a job for 5.5 years. Does that sound like something you might want to hear? He kind of goes like this. Oh, give me my CD back. You're looking for someone that's going to, does that make sense? You don't need everybody. You need 2 good ones. The way the comp plan works is you get in, you put a person to the right, person to the left, and then the next person you put in has to go underneath one of those 2. Everybody goes underneath everybody under 2 people. My 2 brother-in-laws got in at Thanksgiving. One was a millionaire, and then my broke brother-in-law, I went over to his house because I was staying at the broke brother-in-law's house. He said, where were you? I said, remember that MonaVie thing that I poured everybody yesterday? Well, millionaire brother-in-law happened to sign up. He said, didn't you tell me that whoever gets in first, the guys underneath him, you get paid up to $10,000 a week for the people I put underneath you? I said, yeah. Well, you were listening. He said, I wanted to get in before millionaire brother-in-law. I said, well, it's too late. He already gave me his credit card. I said, but you better get in because I'm going to put some more people in. And he signed up reluctantly, didn't want to get in. But he did get in anyways because my millionaire brother-in-law got in. My sister-in-law didn't want to be left out because the other sister, 2 sisters are in, 3rd sister wants to get in. Okay? Then they say, hey, guess what? My one sister-in-law who's really close, Sandy, to my mother-in-law, comes out to me and says, hey, guess what? Mom is really upset. She's mad actually in the back room. She's actually in her own, she had her own little cottage out in the back. She said, because she had, she was hanging out there, she said, she's really mad because she wanted to get ahead of everybody. She wants to talk to you. So I went out there, and here's all I said. I related best I could. I said, I've only seen this once, but they're telling me that as soon as you get in, Jens, who got in ahead of all of you, has got to put his first one down below, so they're going to have people underneath you. So I don't think there's a bad time to get in. Just get in. She hasn't made less than $1,500, mostly $2,000 to $2,500 a week for the last 3.5 years in MonaVie. She's 76 years old. Okay, you know why my 2 sister-in-laws, my wife and my mother-in-law, are all successful? Because they had they saw their parents run their own business. Just telling you right now, they were never been afraid to work. My father-in-law went bankrupt a couple times, just stuck because he had a freeze, because he had indoor plants. Florida had a couple freezes. He went bankrupt. One time he went bankrupt because he went on vacation for a month. If you own your own business, maybe you can relate. Nobody watered the plants, so he went bankrupt. Right? The good thing about MonaVie, you can go as long as you want. Once you help 102 friends make $1 million, they're not going to quit. Okay? You actually become the best friends for a lot of people. You move up on the list. So, just to kind of like help you out, you're looking for people that want some more, but my broke brother-in-law, you know how I got him going? Now my millionaire brother-in-law wanted to get in. My broke brother-in-law was nervous. I helped him get to $1,000 a week before he did his first meeting, before he started anything. How did I do that? Well, he used to live in Florida. He was in Georgia. He would send people over to my house. And again, everyone else thinks that we're just selling bottles of juice. So he would say, hey, go over to Steve and Gina's house if you're not feeling good with your back because they got this juice. So they would come over to the house. Now, I know if you ever interviewed my upline, they would say, how did Steve and Gina move through the ranks, Jim? They knew exactly who they were looking for. So when the people came over to drink with my juice, they would be talking about their back pain, and I would be saying, because I learned from the subscription, the tapes and the books and the growing myself, right? I'd say, okay, that's great. You got a bad back. You're gonna be feeling great on the product, okay? I said, what do you do for a living? How long have you been in Florida? So we've been here for a long time. We actually own we make uniforms for the kids at school. Really? How long have you been doing that? About 15 years. Oh, really? You like doing it? Seems like a pretty cool career. We hate it. Really? You know what? Take this bottle of juice and it's going to work this weekend. I'm telling you, this might be a shot in the dark, but my friend Charlie's making $4,000 a week in 4 months promoting it, and almost every business owner I talk to understands that they want to sell their company one day, but they need a residual income coming in about $500,000 to $1 million. We think about that all the time. Well, go drink the juice. A day and a half later, the lady's back pain is better, and she's ready to start building it. I get to my brother-in-law $1,000 a week before he starts to build MonaVie. That's, give you another quick tip. A lot of people, they signed up in MonaVie, they go home after they hear this, and they think that someone else is going to go do something, so they sit at their computer and look to see if anyone's doing anything. Guess what? Your group's doing what you're doing. They're looking at their computer. Is he doing anything? Is he putting anybody underneath me? Right? You never see me. I'm always out with everybody. Am I right, Jim? Okay? So, this isn't rocket science. Can you, for 5 years, forget that you're going to lose out on anything else? If you bought a Tim Hortons, if you put $1 million in a Tim Hortons, I guarantee you're not going to be sitting around. You're going to put everything you got into it. If you bought a real estate company for $500,000 or put everything into real estate, you're testing everything. When somebody says, well, I don't want to buy a house, you'd say to them, well, do you know anyone else that might want to buy a house? Okay? Most people in MonaVie don't do that. Just say, hey, if a friend says to you, I don't want to get in, say, hey, great, no problem. Here's my card, maybe things will change, okay? No problem. Hey, you got a brother? Why? Because I got a brother. And he's not in. So everybody that's got a brother, they will get in. Does that make sense? I mean, my brother is... I mean, the problem with everyone looking for an opportunity and praying for an opportunity is you want your opportunity the way you want it. Does that make sense? Like, you want to be cool when somebody asks you, well, what do you do for a living? I own Facebook. You know what I mean? Oh, I own Twitter, right? I got an Instagram. I own Instagram. You all want to be, right? Am I sorry? You want a big .com thing or a big, something with a lot of risk, right, John? A lot of risk. There's no risk here, okay? You would never, it's not something you ever thought you'd be doing, but God's got a sense of humor. You put you in this room tonight, I'm just telling you, someone's going to go make this thing happen. It's not like when I first got in with Jan, we were down here in Vancouver, 3 people on the seat and everything else empty. They're all looking at their watch, we're getting out of here. Okay? I'm telling you so my brother is an accountant, and that's what he chose to do. He's living in Atlanta. He goes to work in rush hour traffic, sits in his desk, comes home, and he's going to take over his father-in-law. By the way, his father-in-law used to be my student. My brother was working for me, met his wife as a student of mine, so I helped them meet each other. But no problem, but the problem is that he's going to be an accountant. His father-in-law is still there. He's 73 years old and is still working at the same office right next to him in the same rush hour traffic. I've been around the world. I've had to get more pages in my passport twice. One when I was skiing, and now I don't even think my brother has a passport. I'm not trying to pick on him, but if you put $1 million into Tim Hortons, you would be saying, if you treat it this way, you'd say, hey, you got a brother? You mind if I get his name? Yeah, no problem. In fact, we'll call him right now. I say, hey, Bob, this is Steve. You don't know me, but I'm here with Nick. I got this opportunity. It's actually, would you agree on the phone, on TV, every minute of the day there's a weight loss commercial going on, infomercial, every single minute. It's one of the hottest industries to be in. Right? Well, I've been showing Nick this opportunity, and they've already paid out $1 billion. One of the hottest industries. Kiyosaki's talk about everybody. I said, you know what? Nick does not want to make any more money. He's not interested in anything, but he said,